She wants to hit all the stores. I rock Christian Dior. I pull up in a blue Porsche. You know that one?
I don't.
Thai Boy. Thai Boy. You know Thai Boy?
I don't.
You don't fuck with the Drain gang?
I'm gonna be honest, a lot of more modern rap is hard to follow.
Thai Boy. Thai Boy. What's up, everybody? It's Friendship Emulator. It's gonna be somewhere around, I don't know, the 9th or the 10th, give or take a couple days when we drop this episode. Joining us today is Bombshelboy. Welcome.
Yo.
I've brought you here today to seal your fate. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. No, I'm kidding. To discuss whatever you want to discuss. And we were just talking about microphones because a Death Star mic just dropped. Anyway, Bombs is the back-end mastering engineer for the pod. He's been helping us out for a while. I'm glad that we could get him on mic. Also some stuff with my music. He's my mastering engineer for Dragon Lee. Welcome. And what do you want to talk about, man? Can we talk about Twitch?
Welcome in.
Can we talk about Twitch? Is that? Yeah, because that's where we met. You're a big gamer.
We both stream, turns out.
Yeah. Lately I've just been lazy and watching stuff, but you're into cinema and anime too. We talked about maybe that as a potential topic. Yeah. Expert on a lot of audio engineering stuff though, obviously. So, yeah. You thinking about getting this mic?
Oh no, jeez. It looks ridiculous.
I was saying that it's like a binaural head or something.
Yeah, apparently the head of it looks like this weird dome shell.
It's not like a mesh thing like a regular microphone.
And it's supposed to reject the bad sounds and only record what you want or something. I don't know. It looks weird.
I imagine that it works by those little, it literally looks like a Death Star. It's like there's little layers around like a dome, like sediment, and it's like, I imagine it works with like the little aluminum things like vibrating against each other or something. Who knows? I feel like this is not, yeah. The classic design for a microphone with just a magnet, I think is maybe in the long run will win out over this one. I'm not sure. Seems to have worked for 100+ years already pretty well.
This
does have a magnet.
Use a magnet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. This is the sort of stuff that I can learn from you.
So most microphones have what's called a condenser inside. And the condenser is essentially two legs of a capacitor going up. One of them's attached to the diaphragm, which is where you speak into. And then the other one's attached to like a grounding pole that's in the back.
Oh, okay.
And whenever the diaphragm moves closer, it creates resistance across the two legs. And that's how it records the sound. The more sensitive it is, the better quality it is.
So it's kind of like a artificial reverse vocal cords or something.
It's like
for receiving sounds instead of making them, but it's like similar.
Think of it like, you know how you can talk into a can and there's a string attached and the other can can hear it? So that's basically your diaphragm, the can right there. It's just vibrating according to what your voice is hearing. And if you were to think of the string like all of your recording equipment past that. It's basically like
Tin
just
can
the,
telephone is what you're talking about.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
just the can itself would end up being basically the same as the diaphragm.
Mm. Tin can telephones. You know that one?
No.
I mean, I could probably sing more of it to actually get it. That is a microphone song. Great, really good one. I was randomly referencing them on stream the other day. There's a lot of random lyrics from the microphones, but yeah. Oh, it's in the name right there. They have like tape deck ghost is like a microphone song. It's very audio engineering themed band actually. Come to think of it. But yeah, mine has a magnet though, right? Because it's like a Shure PG 58 or whatever. It's a dynamic.
Yeah, dynamic mics are magnetic based. Essentially, the diaphragm sitting in the back of a magnet.
Yeah,
It's like a voice coil in a speaker, just in reverse.
but those are not as popular as they used to be before condensers were invented. Yeah.
Condensers, I might even have might have been first. I'm not sure on that. They're both very old technologies. Like the
Oh,
Beatles were
okay.
using them either way.
Okay. It could have even been like Edison, right?
Exactly.
A proto.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he was using something with similar technologies.
You know what they say though, Edison gets all the credit for stuff,
Yeah,
but he didn't like do it or whatever. He killed an
he
elephant.
literally
That's pretty
stole
fucked
every
up.
one of his technologies. Yeah,
He's literally the Elon Musk of like his era. It's great. It's
right
all
down
just
to
the same
stealing
shit.
Tesla's name.
Do you think that that was an actual thing that he thought of? Like, man. Oh, and then he's gonna do this. Oh, dude. He's gonna do the same thing that Edison did with that elephant to those poor monkeys. Think about it.
Going to or already has.
I. Oh yeah, that's already that's like public knowledge, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has. I could be wrong.
You know what the phrase that I learned about recently? What's it? Page six. You know the term page six? It's like there's a word for it. There's another, if I Google it, I'll probably find it out. This is really funny though. Page six. What does it mean? Um,
What does it mean?
there's there's a word for it that's like oh, is it gonna gossip site, entertainment site? It's like byline or something. It's like a weird phrase. It's like byline. It basically means like a thing that a journalist says that's like that omits the name of the party involved, but like it's kind of implied so that they don't get like slander sued or whatever. It's like a tactic that they use in gossip journalism to avoid litigation or whatever.
So basically, it's like not naming them directly, but indirectly
Yeah,
putting things in their mind.
what's the word for the fucking thing? What's the best celebrity gossip site? Women's clothing boutique. What? Okay, I'm off on a whole thing. There's a YouTube channel. Anyway, I was just thinking, wouldn't it be funny if there was like one of those hidden byline things? It was like page six, and it was like evil, like technology mogul tortures apes with his brain implant. But it doesn't like name him specifically. But it's
All I'm
like,
saying is, at some point in the future, it's going to be like an entry on a Fallout computer, you know? Just here's Elon Musk writing about how he tested on monkeys, you know?
on a Fallout. Oh, like a. Wait, what do you mean? Or is it like? Uh,
Like, have you played the video game Fallout?
I've played New Vegas.
Yeah,
It's
so like in New Vegas, you know how they have a bunch of like notes about scientific achievements in the game, but like everyone's dead and there's skeletons everywhere?
yeah, it's kind of like in FF7 in the Midgar headquarters, you see all, it's like flavor text stuff. You see all
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
He's gonna be the best flavor text with all of his ape experiments. Today we tested aggression technique, and then entry deleted.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So you mean it'll bypass the Supreme Court in our lifetimes?
He's got money, and eventually, because everyone's greedy, that money is going to make someone who's greedy push the button on it going the other way. You know
Oh
what
my
I mean?
God, he's all the way up there. Like who
Yeah,
knows what he's already done?
probably a lot. He already um like consults with the Supreme Court and the Congress. It's just like that already is a thing.
Do you remember when he did the marijuana?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Speaking of,
They were like the CIA next day. You are yeah, you got he's got all these clearances, like aerospace clearances. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. You seen this guy? You know this guy? Elon Musk? You heard about Elon Musk? Yeah. I don't know.
he purchased the rights to call himself founder of Tesla.
No, it's straight up Edison shit. That's where this began.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not even just Elon Musk too. It's like it's Bill Gates. They say that Microsoft stole from IBM.
I believe it was like Panasonic or something like that. They had the system for a GUI, graphic user interface, and he stole the idea from them and adapted it for Mac
Oh,
OS.
Panasonic, really?
I think
What
maybe it
was
was someone else like that.
no?
It
What
was
was the thing with IB? It was like it definitely wasn't like a GUI. It was more like a crunchy. No, I'm kidding. Uh, I think it had more to do. It was like kind of like the net framework or something like that. See, like
oh,
C, like the actual code, like the C assembly or whatever you call it.
so get this. Bill Gates, he stole DOS. And I say stole, but I mean he purchased it for like I think it was like $400 from the guy who developed it and then used
Oh
it to make billions.
no, and I was gonna say Elon Musk, man of many, contains multitudes. That was what he did with fucking PayPal or whatever. Who is Amazon? Bezos? That was what Bezos did. Okay, so there's yeah. It's like the trifecta. It's the three horsemen of the apocalypse. Those three dudes. But yeah, it's incredible. You just co-opt other people's ideas to fail upwards, essentially.
So this isn't the first time he's tried to make X.com, I might add. Because, like you said, he used to own PayPal or was on the board or something like that.
Oh
He
yeah,
got kicked off the board because he tried to make it X.com.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. And now oh, so that's kind of why he's trying to turn Twitter almost into like, yeah, not
I
quite
love how no
PayPal, but
one
like,
calls it Twitter. Or, I mean, no one calls it X, everyone calls it Twitter
no,
still.
yeah, Twitter. I think one of the episode one guys said like, no one's gonna call it X. Like the week after it happened, he was like, no, he tweeted out, no one's gonna call it X. It's like the Empire State Building or whatever. It was like he referenced some like famous building that like they officially changed the name of, but like nobody calls it that. It was a very funny tweet. Or should I say, it was a very funny X. God. It really doesn't roll off the tongue, right?
Oh, it's altogether a poor idea.
I also saw this post that was like, here's all the companies in the past like 30 years that have been named X, and they all have these logos. It's
Oh, right,
funny.
it's got to be pretty similar because how many ways can you make an X?
Yeah. I
I
was
bet there's
thinking
also a lot of video games that have similar, just because X is a thing in a video game a lot.
I was thinking Xfinity is such a snappy name for a damn company.
Like Verizon.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Xfinity's like Verizon and Comcast merger or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm really into business now. It's kind of a thing that's going on with me. It's a trend. It's a kind of a Rumi meme.
Just call him Mr. Business.
They call me Mr. Business. That's how that's how I roll these days. And my motto
And look
is
away when he does his business.
gross. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Yeah. So, I mentioned games as a potential topic. Is there anything cool you've been playing? I haven't
I
seen
mean,
you on the online's streams.
I've been playing a lot of Tekken 8. It's
Oh, okay.
it's so good.
I'm down to talk about that.
So there's this new guy who's named Victor, and he's like some French assassin dude, and he's just like straight up a badass.
Okay. Is it's not available on PS4, is it?
Oh, maybe.
Is it or
Oh,
PC?
maybe it might be PS5 only.
Yeah, that's what I figured. The new ones are they're really yeah. I think they've almost fully transitioned, right?
Yeah, it is PS5 only. My bad.
It's Gen 9, right?
I'm not sure. I'm PC at this point. It's hard to keep up.
I always try and get my gens right, but I confuse 4 and 5 and 6. I think 4 is like SNES. And if we were on 10 now, I think I would have read. I don't think I'm familiar with any 10. 10 is the next gen. 10 is the gen for all the men when it becomes Zen.
Heck yeah, Switch 2.
Switch 2 is going to be cool. The state of play actually just happened. Speaking of PlayStation, there was state of play like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah, they had the Death Stranding 2 footage that trailer was just
No,
what's even going on.
it's called Death Stranding 2,
Yeah.
and he's doing the Jordan Peele thing. And isn't there like a third one too?
He's also doing a horror game, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, that's saying any of them get fully developed because he's notorious for delays.
Yeah, but they cancellations not so much.
You
Is it
know,
canceled?
I'm pretty sure he's eventually got his idea out of in every cascade that I can think of, you know?
Yeah, maybe a good business decision would actually be Nvidia. Been thinking it more and more. Everyone knows that Matrix 4 was the the hallmark cinematic achievement of a generation, right? I haven't seen it. Have you seen Matrix 4?
The new one with
Yeah.
the other Mobius
I don't
or
know.
Morpheus rather.
There's a second Morph. Oh, because he died,
Different
right?
guy, you know.
Yeah. Is it any good?
It's if you liked the other ones and are willing to rewatch the other ones basically. It doesn't bring a lot to the table, but it's not bad.
You know, the Matrix trilogy is almost like the Star Wars trilogy to me. Like the deeper you go into it, the more sort of take it or leave it it gets.
Yeah.
A New Hope is like everybody should see that movie. Like it's a great classic cinema. James
It's hard to
Campbell.
imagine not watching it, right?
Yeah, yeah. But then like I haven't seen I mean, I'm being this is like a humble brag, but I actually haven't seen 8 or 9. Because it's like, who do I need to? Like, I've never met anyone who was like, no, they're really good. You have to watch those movies.
So, speaking as someone who's watched them, no, you do not need to watch them.
Yeah, it seems like people mostly just were had negative feelings about them. But yeah, that's the same as like what I imagine Matrix 4 would be like. It's like, okay, this is like more of this, almost like pure fan service or something. Or is it? I feel somehow just like the same thing happens with a lot of bands too. You know, just over time, the formula for what they're doing just gets so. You know, you just can't keep making gold.
It's true. And it might not even be that the music they're making is bad. It's just not the same, and people liked what they did before, you know?
Yeah, I don't know why I got onto the Star Wars thing, especially not having seen all of it. I did like the that Rogue Squadron or whatever it was, but but yeah,
Rogue One?
Rogue One, yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Rogue Squadron was really good too, though. That was on the N64.
I started collecting N64 recently. I'd love to talk about that, but I guess
Rogue Squadron is one of those really good Star Wars games.
that's the
It's
racing one, right?
no, no, it's all space battles. You get like a Naboo fighter, you get the A wing, you get the Y wing.
Oh, okay. I'm
you
thinking
get,
of Pod Racer,
yeah, pod racer is pod racing.
but they're both
But
like really good. I don't know. N64 games are all kind of like is it just me or is it like they're all like very like like kind of warm and like maybe it's the fact that they're on cartridges. I don't know.
they definitely load really fast, if that's what you're saying.
It's I like having the physical media, but yeah, something about N64 games is like they're really cozy compared to like
Yeah.
PS1 games, I guess.
So something about PS1 that makes them very cold is those load times. Because you're sitting there for like 5-10 minutes waiting for the level to load. And you know, it's really cool and you're playing the level and got great music and you got everything going on, but those delays in between makes it just like a little staler.
Interesting, man. In that sense, then you could say GameCube and Wii are almost like a departure.
Yeah, somewhat. The GameCube happened to load really fast though, because
Well,
even though it had, you know, decently large discs, they were smaller medium, so the laser didn't have to travel as far to get to the data.
yeah, the mini disc thing, clever. And Wii games are the same. Wii games were like mostly digital. I feel like.
Wii games had load times. They did. And it got worse on some games. Like some games had PlayStation 1 level load times. And that's kind of where the Wii was. Well, it was very popular. I would say it felt a little more sterile than the N64, you know?
And they both had like full bright, like I think PS1 is just more like pointy and weird polygon. Like somehow the polygons in N64 end up more round looking. I don't know how to describe it. PS1's very pointy, pointy polygons.
I believe you mean sharpness. Wouldn't that be the way to describe the edges?
Yeah, you ever play Sharpshooter Pointy Polygon for the PS1 X? Yeah, they even did it for the PlayStation, the PSX. I can never remember which one that even is.
It, so there's actually two. The PS1, PSX, is the original PlayStation 1, like the gray one, right? But there's also a device called the PSX that's a PlayStation 2 with a built-in DVD, like, it's a special DVD menu and it's got like a hard drive built in and stuff. It's a very special, uh, I'll send you a picture. It'll make more sense that way.
So it's like a DVD player. It doesn't have a TV.
No, it doesn't have a TV on it or anything. It's just like a very special edition PlayStation 2.
Did you know that there is a PlayStation 2 TV though?
I would believe it. I bet it even mounts to this because it looks like
Yo,
the kind of a
what?
thing.
That looks like a dev console.
But it's not. It's called the PSX. It had DVR built into it. So you could like record TV from it. And
What
it was
the?
a special DVD player built in, the remote came with it.
But
So you
it's
could
also a PlayStation?
Yeah, it's a PS2.
That's weird. It looks like a dev console or a printer or something, or like just a chunky laser disc player or something. Interesting. Did you know there's also the PS1, which is
Yeah,
like
the
PSONE?
one ONE, yeah,
Yeah.
with the screen. The
They
first portable one.
Yeah, they did make a with it famously from my favorite internet series Petscop, where we find out upon the third year of Tony editing the shit out of that series that he was in a car in that one scene. It's very funny. There isn't any actual reference to the everything about Petscop is so funny to me. There isn't an actual reference to the portable PlayStation, but the fact that it occurred like it was either like the later half of 97 or like after March 98 or something when the actual date of it coming out, all the fans speculated that it easily could have been in a car or whatever. And then the caption for the video got edited like an entire year later where it said car door slams. There's like a single sound and it's like, okay, he just revealed for no reason whatsoever that we were playing this video game inside of a car. I didn't even know that the portable PlayStation existed before I got into Petscop and like learned that whole thing about it. It's pretty fun.
There was, in fact, a whole car kit for it, so you could mount it to a back of a seat, and you could
Yo.
plug it into the cigarette adapter and everything.
Yeah, if the PlayStation 1 came out in like 2018, it would be there would be a version of it that's inside Teslas. That'd be pretty good. Just play Nightmare Nightmare Creatures. What is it? Um it wasn't Tekken, but there was another PS1 game that I was really into to bring it back around.
Beast Wars?
Beast Wars, exactly. Wait, no. Is it Beast War? Isn't Beast Wars that cartoon?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Bloody Roar. Bloody Roar.
It's basically Beast Wars though, and I think there might have been a Beast Wars video game too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Was that? Oh my god! I
There
need
was
to
one on
stop.
PS1 at least. I remember playing as Cheetor in the PS1 one.
This is something that we could probably fucking butt heads about, but I'm like, I need to stop with these. There's like the thing that they call jank in video games, where it's like especially like licensed properties of like Disney games or like Cool Spot or Pepsi Man or whatever. I'm like, I need to stop wasting my time on that stuff. Like,
I kind of love games like that. Like
I do
they're
too.
almost B-rated if
I
you were
would,
to look at them like movies, you know?
oh my God. Have you seen Gubble or have I told you about Gubble?
Uh-uh.
I still haven't even played it. I'm like, I have an ancillary interest in like the concepts of these games. But it's like this super weird 3D isometric puzzler game for the PS1 that's like you're like a weird alien whose the lower half of his body is like a screw. Like
What?
It's the object of the game is that you screw yourself into different like little blocks on this like Sim City map thing. I have no idea. I'm like there's over 4,000 games for the PlayStation 1. Like of course there's going to be some super weird shit. I'm almost afraid to play this game though. Literally. It's pretty good. But it's like yeah, stuff that's like yeah, maybe Disney. Maybe Disney is something I don't need to. Alice in Wonderland is something I've been talking about for a long time. There's like so many sort of like low budget or whatever licensed games of it. I always thought it'd be fun to go like through all of them.
I will say Disney like had a run of extremely good games in retro consoles. Like from NES to like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, you know.
Yo, that's
They
actually
all had
true.
some good games.
Um, I haven't played what's the Illusions one, the Mickey Mouse one?
Castle of Illusion.
Yeah, yeah. But I have played Aladdin a lot. That's a
Oh,
great
I
game.
love Aladdin, dude. I love that game to death. I
I
beat it
played
on hard.
that might oh shit. That's crazy. It's like a very chunky kind of platformer game. It's kind of like what Lion King is like too, right?
Lion King's harder. Lion King, if you think that Aladdin's hard, you will cry playing Lion King.
Yeah, I well, you're like a lion in it, right?
Yeah,
It must
you
be
play Simba.
yeah, it just makes more sense to be like a human in a video game, I feel like even that primitive technology.
Oh man, Lion King is so good though too. It's like really, really hard, but it's also one of the best Sega Genesis games. You know, balance.
Oh, it wasn't on SNES.
It was on SNES too.
Oh, so was Aladdin.
So SNES Aladdin is different than Sega Genesis Aladdin. They're both good, but they're not the same game at all. Like completely different levels.
No way. Is it
Yeah.
the same engine though? They're like I
No,
imagine
no, they play different, like completely differently. So you know how
weird.
like in the SNES one you get the cloth to like float down.
I only played the Genesis one. I had
Oh,
both consoles, but yeah.
well, okay. So the Sega Genesis one has a lot more platforming, and the Super Nintendo one has a lot more like intricate fighting things, like just like extra moves that you can do to fight.
No way.
Yeah, like you
Do
can
they
jump on the enemies' heads and
is,
like do a little like vault over their head.
is it the same art though?
No, it's a little different.
That's
It's like a
crazy.
completely different game.
Maybe I'll try it sometime. I would be more interested almost in the Genesis Lion King. Because great Genesis games are.
So the Genesis and Super Nintendo Lion King are identical. There's a little bit of differences. Like one of the bosses plays a little bit differently, and some of the audio is slightly different, but they're almost the same game.
I'm lucky that I had both. A lot of people talk about, there was like the Sega Genesis kids and the Super Nintendo kids, and like, I don't know. A lot of times you had one or the other, but I was like lucky to. I guess my dad was really into them, but I've always preferred the Genesis. My jams on SNES though were Street Fighter 2 and did you play the Goofy? What is it? Goof
Yeah,
Troop?
Goof Troop.
Yeah, yeah,
That game's good.
yeah. I've always loved just like top down, sort of what's like a puzzle platformer almost, where you use like hook shots and stuff. It's really cool.
But Street Fighter 2 had a championship edition on Sega Genesis that was like the best version.
I think I might have seen that at a shop just the other day. I wasn't sure. Because there's like 10 different versions of that damn game. I don't know which one to get. I don't know which one I used to have growing up.
So Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the SNES is the one you want on SNES, and the Street Fighter Champion Edition is the one you want on Sega Genesis.
I think it might have been Turbo we had.
Yeah, if it's two turbo, that's the best one SNES had, and I mean turbo mode's on Championship Edition, but it's also got other things as other enhancements.
So you're still into fighting games, though. I have to say, Street Fighter 2 is probably the one fighting game I've played the most, but then it's Clay Fighter and Bloody Roar are like the only other two. Maybe
I
Tekken a
love
little
Clay
bit.
Fighter and Bloody Roar, so I'm with you on all those.
Actually,
I
Tekken,
just love games, though.
yeah, Tekken is like a greater version of those other of Bloody Roar and like whatever. Yeah, Tekken's like the first great 3D fighter. I feel like kind of. I should get back into
That's
it.
fair.
I have a
Either
hard
that or Virtua Fighter.
Virtua Fighter. It seems too clunky. I don't know. Did I have an arcade? I think I played the arcade once. If it has an arcade, but
It does, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
The arcade looks way better than the home console version, like 100%.
Hmm. Yeah, that's some OG shit. I don't know. I don't know. And yet, I'm talking about the SNES fighter games. Clay Fighter is real cool. Clay
Oh
Fighter's
yeah,
cool.
Mr. Frosty.
But it's like that's like the kind of like obscure, like yeah, almost like hipstery sort of games that I like. There were a lot of those on Super Nintendo. It's like the dawn of the alternative game kind of Mother 3 and like what's that one's the weird platform like minimalist platformer that was on like DOS and stuff. It's called like the Note something tomorrow. I can't remember. I'm a big Heather Ann Campbell fan. She cites it as one of her favorite games. And it had a separate title in Europe, so I'm very confused right now. But yeah, call in to Friendship Emulator 1-800-FRIEND-EMU and let us know your favorite obscure minimalist RPG platformers. Gen 4 to 6.
RPG platformer. Interesting take.
It's like it's more of like a minimalist platformer with some slight RPG elements. World of Tomorrow? Tomorrow's The other reason I'm confused is I forgot that Castle of Illusion or like City of Illusion also were like the Mickey Mouse games. And I saw those recently in a shop and I got those confused with that game also.
There's also Mickey Mania.
There's also the Everhood and the Neverhood, two games that are very alt but from different generations.
I don't think I know either of them. Are any good?
Neverhood is like a PC game that's like newer. It's like kind of it's got like WarioWare sort of vibe. Goes has a bunch of different game modes. Everhood isn't actually that fits into the category of like weird minimalist puzzle platformers from Super Nintendo. It's a claymation, I think. One of the yeah.
Neverhood?
Everhood.
Oh, Everhood.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yo, my
I
favorite
own Everhood. What the heck?
in on PC.
Yeah.
Oh, how?
I guess I haven't played it yet.
It might even be like a point and click. Come to think of it, yeah. This was my original point coming into this conversation is that like all of this stuff that's like nostalgia, I have so much mixed feelings about it, and yet I get to talking about it, and I love it. Super Nintendo and the NES are just it's stuff that I haven't thought about in a long time. I'm just kind of revisiting. I want to play you told me that I need to play Sonic 2 a long time ago and I'm like, "Damn it. I think about it all the time. But Super
I'm
Mario
shocked
World
you
too.
still haven't. It's like one of the best Sega Genesis games.
I might have had it and just forgot about it when I was younger. I don't know.
I think it might have even been the first game I had on my Genesis.
I had a copy of the Seven Stars, this Super Mario RPG. That would be sweet to get again. That's actually one of the only retro consoles that I don't own is the Super.
Have you looked into that new Switch remake? It looks pretty authentic to the original
Wait, what do you mean?
Super Mario RPG.
Oh, no, no, no. But I was very let's say intrigued by the yeah, the art, all the character models.
From what I've looked into and from what I've seen, a couple of the names are different for like bosses, but otherwise it's the same game.
I mean, it's kind of like to me it's like a little bit of an acid trip because it's those I feel like those characters were never meant to be seen at that fidelity. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
It's like it's not a complaint. I'm just saying it's like it's freaky. It's kind of cool. I would totally play it. I would totally play the new Paper Mario game too.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
Yeah, Thousand Year
um
Door remake.
no, I meant the one from like a couple years back. I never touched it. But yeah, Thousand Year Door, of course.
Yeah, they're remaking it.
That's the N64 one, right?
No, that's the
Oh,
GameCube one.
GameCube. Okay, I did play both. I did play both of them though. The original and the that GameCube one.
It would be hard to pull off in this generation, but the Wii one would be really fun. The Super Paper Mario. It was a platformer more than it was an RPG, but it was really, really fun.
Weird. Oh yeah, is that the one where you like kind of shift around perspectives and shit?
Yeah, that's the one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this game 2D and Top D?
Uh-uh.
It's like a Steam game. It's a platformer where there's these two characters and you like switch between them and depending on which one you are, the camera angle changes from like top down to side scroller and you use it's like actually a mechanic in the puzzles.
Oh, so like one can do certain things and the other can do other things.
Yeah, and it's like it's got like that sort of oh god, like time splitter vibe to it where you like it doesn't really make sense what you're doing, but you like go you travel through this dimensional shift and like solve the puzzles or whatever. What's that iconic time game where you shift um it's also like a 2D platformer.
Uh,
It starts with a B. Not Blinks. I could be talking about Blinks. That's a good one too. It's the same concept actually.
I do enjoy Blinks. I wish they
Hmm.
would remake that. I would totally buy a collection of the Blinks games.
They need to I need Blinks and I need them to remake the rat no, wait, Dax Jackster. Jack and Daxter with the guns.
I
Give
thought
them
they did remake that a couple years back.
yeah, but they need to give them their guns back. They took away their guns at some point is what the word on the street is. It's what they're saying.
Oh yeah, but it was a HD collection of 1, 2, and 3. So
Okay.
it was just the ones with guns and the first one.
They took away Jack and Daxter's guns and they gave them to Pokemon. Can you believe it?
Maybe they gave it to Ratchet and Clank.
It was around the same time. It was around the same time they did surgery on the grape. But can you believe it? I call those Spyro likes kind of.
It's the same genre, I understand.
Yeah,
Action adventure games.
those are very good. Okay, what's your Oh, I had actually a good question for you. What's your favorite style question? But what's your favorite Spyro style game?
Hmm. Hmm.
And you can't say Sly Cooper because I've never really played that one or seen it. And
It's actually really fun. I do enjoy that one a lot.
no, I've actually seen a tiny bit of it, but it was very recently. I had no idea what that game was like until recently. It's got cool graphics. It reminds me of Toontown Corporate Clash.
You know, you might hate me for this answer, but Super Mario Sunshine.
No, actually, I'm not. I'm an apologist for Sunshine. Are you saying Sunshine good?
Yeah, I love Sunshine, dude.
Dude,
I'm just saying, like it is an action adventure game. You know, even though it's really hard to say it's not a Mario game. You know,
it's almost like a backhanded insult compliment at the same time because you're saying, yeah, it's like it's not the game people think it is, but it is a really good game.
yeah,
Yeah. The Super Mario Sunshine hate needs to stop. The slander.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
I get that it's hard sometimes. I get those missions where they take the flood off your back. You're like, oh God, I have to struggle, but it's not bad. It's just hard.
I mean,
Maybe a
and what
little
is
glitchy sometimes.
and what is this like hating a video? It's like it's a Mario game. It's made of it's made of sunshine, fluffy vanilla rainbows. Like
The island looks like a dolphin.
like there's every Mario game is gonna be like candy to your senses. Like what? Who has time to hate a thing that's like a kitten? You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's true.
I just don't
Kittens
understand
are
like
awesome.
people getting like super opinionated about those essentially like family style media. Like, you know what I mean?
If you're gonna get mad at a Mario game, at least make it a reasonable one to get mad at, like Mario's Time Machine or Mario is Missing. Come on.
Wait, would those be Gen 4? Are those
Those are
like dot?
SNES.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
But,
many bad Mario games on the SNES. Holy crap.
yeah, educational Mario games were the worst.
Mario Paint? Dr. Mario?
Hey, Mario Paint wasn't bad. I enjoyed that game. There was a fly swatting game.
Anyone who says that LSD Dream Emulator isn't worth it, that they're gonna go play Mario Paint. It's not a video game.
I'll play both.
It's not
I
a
mean,
video game. It's a
LSD.
piece of software. Yeah, the LSD hate needs to stop, but also the
There's hate for
LSD
that game. It's like barely even a game. It's just like check out this cool shit that happens. Are you seriously gonna hate on cool shit?
people clown on it, but actually the love of it needs to stop. It's too trendy now. It needs to not be $600 to own an authentic copy of it.
That's fair. I mean, it is cool shit, but is it really that cool shit?
I think it's my favorite. Straight up. I almost named this podcast after it.
I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just barely a game too.
It's like it's divisive in that way, right?
Yeah, because you boot it up and you don't even know where you are. Every game, you don't really know what's gonna happen. There's no real control over it.
You know what I just realized? Okay, so it's LSD Dream Emulator is almost like a meditation device. I've always said that. What if I got the FM3 Buddha machines? What if I played LSD Dream Emulator while listening to the FM3 Buddha machine? Would I enter a fugue state?
I think you would need electroplankton, but probably similar effect.
Wait, what? What's electroplankton?
It's like the most surreal Nintendo DS game that ever existed. It's a little mind-boggling.
Wait, is that one of those series games?
Nah, it was a one game. Here, I'll send you a thing.
Is it like Dyson, aka Euphoria, aka Euphoria HD? One of my favorite games of all time. In the Discord. Yeah,
Found it.
Euphoria was originally called. I've never. Sadly, I don't know if I'll ever have the chance to. Oh, it's gonna show up in the recording. I can mute it though. Here we go. I've never had the chance to enjoy a DS game, especially back then. Oh, this looks vaguely familiar. All right, so what I'm looking at here is two. Oh my! I actually don't know what I'm looking at.
It's like a musical device, but it's also kind of just its own game. But it's also not really a game.
All right, couple seconds of audio here. Huh. Huh. There was a Steam game recently that I played that reminds me of this a little bit. It's kind of like one of those, and it is a little bit similar to Euphoria in that it's like an ambient style game. Maybe you're floating in space, kind of a little bit. But yeah, you're like a little plankton looking guy in a black area with all these triangles that are in lines, and you're going up and down them. But it's like making these noises. Oh, what was that Steam game? I'm gonna look it up. But
I
yeah.
kind of like go through episodes of being really into rhythm games and then just kind of like
Oh,
fading into nothingness for a while.
have you ever played Thumper?
Uh-uh. What's that on?
Thumper, a friend of the show Zara is really into it. I believe it's a PC and PlayStation 4 game. I don't remember when it came out.
If it's on PC, I'll check it.
But it was designed by a couple different um, musicians.
Oh, it kind of looks like Audio Surf.
It looks like Audio Surf, yeah. It's a like racing style rhythm game, but the rhythms are so. It's definitely not 4/4. You know what I mean? And it's not like. It's not even like 5/8 or whatever. It's like some really clunky rhythms, but they make sense the more you go. I have a lot of games here. Was it no? I want to say it was a game called Manifold Garden. It's not. Um,
There's this one
is it?
game I've been wanting to get called Sayonara Wild Hearts, and it's
That
a
sounds
weird
very
looking rhythm game.
familiar. Oh, okay. Oh, I just recently found a whole list of upcoming games from a really cool sort of curator. What did you say it was called?
Sayonara Wild Hearts.
I found it. Okay, so the game I'm talking about is called Ethereal with an E.
I think I have that.
Oh, it's so weird. It's so good. I love
You
the
play
art in
like,
it.
yeah, I have that.
It's got an ambient thing, but it's not black. There's a lot of it. It goes from being like a dark black space to being like a beige space. But it's definitely like a weird rhythm floaty thingy. Sayonara Wild Hearts. Damn, we were mostly just talking about video games today.
I mean, video games are great. I see no negativity.
I've been getting a lot more into them. I want them to be kind of like my anti-drug. Oh, this looks almost epilepsy inducing.
I could see that.
Yeah, I've been saying this for years too, is that, oh, whoa. Yeah, video games will make a good anti-drug for me if I go anti-drug. This is reminding me of that No Heroes game. Oh, it has multiple game modes.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's so crazy. Like it's a rhythm game, but it's also like it takes it to
Is
another level,
is
you know?
every game mode rhythmic or just the racing one?
I'm pretty sure it's all game based.
You know what I'm so excited for is that skating adventure game, Skate Story.
Yeah, that game looks great.
Yeah. Talk about alternative hipster ass games. It's so like cool. They had blood cultures on that trailer. I got really into blood cultures. It's a great band. Great band. It's almost like yeah, they knew what they were doing. They needed some super fire music, just like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, because this could be the beginning of an era. You know, I heard there's another game that's similar to it that came out already. You have any idea what I'm talking about? I think Martin was talking about it.
I'm not sure.
I think it's called, it might be called like Skate. It's like Skate Factions or something. It's more like battle based, I think.
There's this really cool one that I've been waiting for called Hellskate. Here, I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I got my Steam right here.
Like this one's
Hell
definitely battle
Skate?
based, but it's also a skating game, you know?
This could very easily be the one that I'm referring to.
It's not out yet, so it might not be.
This looks like PS5. Is it?
I mean, clearly it's on Steam.
No, but I mean, is it does it have like ray tracing and stuff in it? No, maybe not. Unreal 4 kind of vibe. I'm always interested in what like the quote unquote engine for a game is. This looks like it could have been a top down like in-house engine. Interesting. Do 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 do. Okay, now we're getting to game footage here. This looks a lot like what I would imagine Skate Story is like. Yes, yes. But it's got some Devil May Cry style.
Yeah, like battle stuff.
Yeah, and there's I feel like Skate Story might not be quite as flashy as that. Dynasty Warriors almost. I view Dynasty Warriors almost as like a proto Devil May Cry. Yeah, I could add that to my wish list. I'm excited for the revolution in gaming that is action adventure skateboarding games. I am disappointed that I didn't get a chance to ask you about some movies that you like though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
mean, we're still here.
I want to wrap up in the next, little bit. We're almost at an
Oh,
hour, but there's always next week. Who knows what we have in store? But you are the person who introduced me to Altered States, which is one of the weirdest, coolest movies I've ever seen.
Oh man, I love that movie. It's so good.
Yeah, always think, yeah, I'm like, yeah, it hit me at a very opportune time, but it hit me really hard. Yeah, it's not like it's not such a fucked up movie that I never want to watch it again, but it walks that line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's make fun of DMT trips, guys.
It gets a little bit melodramatic, I guess you could say.
Well, yeah, it's got to make a movie plot. The book is a lot more like focused on the drug side of it
Oh
and
my
less on the
God.
melodrama.
There's a book, huh? That's
Dude, the
crazy.
book is great. I would say read the book for sure if you're into books.
Wish I could say I was more into books than I am, but I'm trying to open up these ones that I keep freaking collecting, trying to buy. But also, who knows?
You got to be in the right mood for a book.
Altered States is an interest. When did the book come out?
Like in the
70s?
70s, I think.
Yeah, yeah, because the movie's like early 80s, I believe, right? I want to say maybe 82 or so. Early 80s, interesting time. Very interesting time in America. It's a time in America. You know that one?
Uh,
Ha! I've tricked you. You cannot say yes because I made it up just now.
I didn't want to admit that I didn't know.
Yeah, no, yeah. Rule of threes in comedy, right? You hear about this? You know what's? I always thought it was really funny that there's the rule of threes and then the rule of thirds.
I thought the rule of threes was that everyone dies in sets of three.
Wait, really? Is that that was the 27 Club?
Well, okay, so in 30 Rock, I don't know if you watched that series. The
Oh
rule of
yeah.
threes was that everyone dies in a group of three, and that some random actor died in the series, and Tracy Jordan was trying to figure out who was next. He,
Oh
he
my
like called
god.
Betty White up, and he's like trying to act all nice to her, and she's like, "This is a rule of three calls, isn't it? Listen here, I'll put you dead in the ground before you even see me."
So it's kind of like the rule of threes if it were this 27 Club.
Yeah.
That's great. That's funny. I'm trying to find out who's about to die. It's messing with the fates there. Why does that not ring a bell? I think when I
I don't
first
know. It was a
watched,
good episode. It was like one of my favorites.
I either didn't see that one or
It had Betty White.
yeah, I was trying to work my way through it a second time just a couple months ago, but just kind of lost sight. There's not enough of an A plot in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I
too
feel you.
it's too much. It's like there's
It's just jokes. That's what the
yeah.
show's about.
No, I mean there's yeah. The boyfriends
And
drift in and out and
yeah, and there's the whole, mentorship, but it also kind of falls apart and comes back and falls apart.
yeah, I guess you don't need a big A plot. That's kind of like the way The Office was and shit too. I thought my favorite one like that. Oh yeah, this is that hypothetical favorites question I mentioned earlier. I'm really trying to break the habit of like leaving loose threads in the podcast, but that we can end on that. But I was gonna say my favorite like multicam sitcom was always Parks and Rec
Oh, I
because
love Parks and Rec.
like the A plot in that was like more robust and it was like heartwarming.
Right,
Like
because it's basically her becoming president ultimately.
with it's crazy. It's like Gilmore Girls or something. She goes off at the end of it to work for the Obama admitted like campaign or whatever, 2007. Uh, but yeah, it yeah.
She passes out from Joe Biden.
I always think of the episode where it plays Buddy by Woody Nelson. It's like a montage of all the times that what's his name, the mustache dude, and
Yeah,
Amy
Ron.
Poehler. Yeah, yeah. It's like, aw, they're buddies. And I didn't even know what that song was either. It might be, maybe it's a Gary Newman or sorry, Randy Newman.
I always get those two confused as well. Like I say the wrong one.
Can you imagine if they collaborated? That'd be sick.
You're not wrong, but I don't think they ever would.
It would sound like, you know what that'd sound like? The band Future Islands. They're like a more modern new wave band, but they've got like a almost goofy baritone singer. Great band, Future Islands.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, also I've got about 3 degrees of separation on them.
Oh,
Kevin
you know someone who knows someone?
Kevin Bacon style.
Yeah.
Shout out Sultan Serve Records. You know who you are. What's up? What's up? Shout outs. Okay, so here's what I was going to ask you, right?
Oh, dude,
So,
don't do this to me. Oh my god,
I
my
mean,
brain.
you've
Holy
got
shit.
you've got like you've got your hands in different stuff. We didn't get a chance also to speak about Japanese animation, but
Dude, hold on. You just blew my mind with the degrees of separation comment.
why?
I'm in 2 degrees of separation with Kevin Smith and the RZA.
How so?
I know Mega Ran. He and I are like I've mastered work for him.
Okay. Okay. A little
Like
bit
he
of
literally made music for Clerks 3.
damn,
Yeah.
little bit of a humble brag.
Well, you brought up the degrees of separation. I'm like, holy shit. That just blew my mind. Holy shit.
You know, here at Friendship Emulator, we play a little bit of dignified, respectful clout sharking. And there's nothing wrong with trying to get yourself in to a little bit industry. It's like people always complain, like, what do you think we're trying to do? We're trying to make stuff. You know what I mean? Like, why would I, like, you know what I mean? I wish that I could like, okay, like, yeah, what's another fucking, there was a sub pop band that I played a show with one time, but they're actually not signed to them anymore. Damn. Mega Ran's cool though. If we do this again in the next couple weeks or so, I do totally want to ask you about like nerdcore because that's one thing. Oh, by the way, shout outs Fish Tank Live fans. The fucking season's over. I wanted to mention just we'll see you in 6 months. But yeah, there was a guy on the newest season who is not only a huge fan of nerdcore rap, but he makes it himself. So you might be interested in him as a stream. He's on Twitch and stuff too.
Heck yeah.
But I know that you know a lot about the nerdcore stuff. You introduced me to, I think, the Black Materia album. Is that
Oh, dude,
correct?
that's such a great album. I
Yeah.
love that thing.
I mean, being a huge FF7 fan, yeah. Who's the MC on that?
It was random and Lost Perception,
Yeah,
his
see.
buddy.
See, I don't know.
Random is Mega Ran. He went by Random before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. Cool, cool. Damn. Okay. So the Black Materia dude is in 2 degrees of separation. You know, yo, can I best you? Can I try best you one time though?
Of course.
I shook Henry Rollins' hand.
Oh, damn.
That was crazy.
That's top tier.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you not about Japanese animation, but are you much of an adult? I guess I should ask: are you an Adult Swim head at all?
Oh, heck yeah. I love all the cartoons.
Okay, okay. So is this like a really fun question for me too? Is like, what's your favorite Adult Swim? like, like what's the best Adult Swim show? You could do like a top three even.
So, there's this one show way back in the day. It only had a pilot and then it never went anywhere, but it was amazing.
Don't
It
say
was,
it.
don't say it?
Say it.
Okay. It was called Grognak the Barbarian. and it was just like this barbarian who didn't care and barely spoke, couldn't comprehend most things, but just brute forced his way through everything. And like
Really?
everyone would always be trying to talk to him, like, "Ah, I'll take you out. You'll never see what's going on back." And then he would just come up and beat the crap out of him while they were like trying to, do their whole evil talk.
That's awesome. One
It was
pilot
so good.
episode?
It had one episode and then never again.
I have not heard of this one. I thought you were going to say Perfect Hair Forever.
Oh, I loved Perfect Hair Forever. That was
But I
such a
think they
weird
actually
show.
made a season of it, though, come to think of it.
Yeah, that whole season. It was
Yeah.
good though. It was
Yeah.
weird with that guy who was the tree.
Yeah, almost too. I mean, I like 12-ounce mouse, but Perfect Hair Forever is something else.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, no. Yeah, I don't know. Perfect Hair Forever is just anime 12-ounce mouse.
So, Xavier Renegade Angel is up there for
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
shows.
Yeah, that's got to be one of my favorites, too. Yeah. God. Talk about acid trips.
Yeah. Some of those episodes are like they almost make you think, but then you realize it's all shit posting.
Yeah, it's baiting you into thinking that something deep is happening.
Yeah.
There's one of the fish tank guys from season one actually has an old Halloween photo. It's such a good costume of Xavier. He's got like the snake thing. It's like all a bodysuit and shit. It's crazy. It's
Oh, and
almost
then number
creepy.
3, top third, whatever. Too many cooks.
Too many cooks. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay.
It takes a lot to make a stew, especially when there's me and you. Too many cooks will ruin the broth.
That was a phenomenon too. People who weren't into that were you saw that everywhere on the internet for a while.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
Um I feel like I always felt like there's this song by the band Wise Blood that has a music video that's like it starts as like a cozy like cabin sort of thing and it's kind of like nighttime and then it turns like rapidly kind of turns into like a slasher, like a music video. It's like a slasher film. And I always felt like that was like basically directly inspired by Too Many Cooks. But then there's like a lot of like cabin fever style. Is there like a movie that's actually called Cabin Fever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one of those real B-rated tongue-in-cheek ones.
Mm-hmm. I'm still trying to do horror marathons. That's one that I should go check out. Okay, so I mentioned 12-ounce mouse and Xavier.
Oh, dude, have you ever watched Three Busy Deborahs?
What? No,
It's an Adult Swim show called Three Busy Deborahs.
no. Is
I'm
it?
not going to spoil a single second of it. You need to watch it. It's so bizarre. It's like you will think about life in a different way after watching it. Kind of bizarre.
It sounds like live action. Is it live action?
It is, yeah.
Is it also Wham City, the Too Many Cooks people?
I don't know.
Because I liked, I don't know. I liked their. I don't know about
It's a
what's
whole
up with
series.
Alan
Like,
Resnick
there's
now.
2 seasons of Three Busy Deborahs.
I'm not sure what his deal is now, but the AdultSwim.com series they made, so the Cry of Man and Call of War. Oh yeah, that's some good. That's some good internet television. That's some good early 2010s new media that was experimenting with new shit. A lot, I get really into the fish tank live stuff, but it's kind of amazing how much Sam Hyde has actually bitten off the Adult Swim people and vice versa.
I mean, it happens. That's what creatives do.
In fact, it almost feel like maybe a lot of people don't know this, but Fish Tank Live could easily be a direct reference to Fish Center Live.
I was thinking it was like literally a
This,
direct reference. I never thought anything else.
a lot of people don't know about Fish Center. Is Fish Center Live just memory hold in everyone's mind? Because like
I mean, it was literally a fish tank being looked at with a timer, so it probably didn't register to a lot of people's memory.
so you know Fish Tank Live. I thought that I was crazy. I was so in love with that fucking show for so long. For like 2 years, I watched that show. But isn't that kind of the name of the game? You know, to bring it all back, actually, aren't we all just Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates if we had the opportunity? If we were pull back our human, we would just steal everyone's idea. Like, and that's
there's
what.
a difference between theft and like improving upon an idea. You know what I mean?
Well, that and also there's a difference between property theft and intellectual property theft.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a difference, and there's a gray area in intellectual property theft because there's a difference between a business integration and like a sonnet. You know what I mean? If you steal
How
someone's,
so?
if you steal someone's like poetry or like painting, it's a little bit different than like a marketing strategy because those two things have different levels of, you know
Kind of
what I
like
mean?
the difference between a copyright and a trademark, right?
I guess that's probably what those two things is kind of distinguish, right?
Yeah, it's like the concept of being able to protect an idea versus protecting a way of doing.
Well, and then, but the problem with like protecting a business integration as though it is intellectual property is that like what you're kind of doing is protecting your investment.
So what's crazy is it's not classified the same way. So it's not protected in the same way. Thus why people try and steal trade secrets. Because if you steal them and you have access to them and you use them, they have no right to tell you otherwise. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's why the whole espionage and a corporate setting exists. Because
Yeah,
unless
that's
you
interesting.
literally have a contract that says you're not supposed to give this to someone, you can give it to someone.
One time in my life, as a professional baker, technically harbored trade secrets on a recipe for a bread.
It happens, you know, because you're dealing with something that someone literally has protected.
Although looking
Though,
back
I
on
might
it,
also point out that recipes aren't protectable, quote unquote.
no, yeah, looking back, I was about to say, looking back on it, it might have just been a megalomaniac business owner who like thought that they had a right that they didn't.
It's really hard to protect recipes when it's like cooking recipes because the formulation isn't something that you can protect unless it's an actual chemical formulation that you developed.
So I think the disclaimer I signed was basically just saying, "Yo, actually, don't tell anyone about this, though, please."
Yeah, and non-disclosure agreements are a thing. They can sue you for non-disclosure violation.
It might have been an NDA. Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what the product was and the address of the person who. No, I'm kidding.
And also, here's the recipe.
It's so good though, actually. That's the funny thing. But
I
yeah,
mean, that's why they want it protected, you know? They feel it's valid enough that they don't want someone else having it.
that's interesting. You know, no, I just feel like there's certain people, especially in the high rungs of new multimedia stuff, that are playing that game of like treating intellectual property as, you know, maybe that's what it is. You know, like the rights work differently for yeah, just concepts than for like products per se. I don't know. And some people play that game better than others.
Yeah, like intellectual property is a definable character, definable story, things like that. So it's easier to protect that as copyright, you know? But procedural things can just kind of happen and you can kind of discover them. And unless you've protected it with a trademark or a patent, anyone can do it.
Procedural, huh? That's why everyone's making so much money off AI right now.
It's
All
true.
procedural. The it makes me think of the Seinfeld AI on Twitch. Actually, how could you possibly what kind of quagmire would you get into, like trying to license an idea like that? Because there's like literally like hardware attached to it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. It has to calculate the idea because it's not actually the samples. It's ideas based on the samples. It's a real gray area.
It's a program of it's a system of cogs rather than a stack of them that you can buy and sell or whatever. That's a bad way to put it. Systems thinking sort of concept is what I'm saying. The dudes know how to systems think. You know what I'm saying? They're saying the men. They say that men are good at systems thinking.
They basically are just training the AI on samples of the content. So there's what 7 series or seasons of Seinfeld. Take the 7 seasons and write all the samples to the database. So it's pulling from them constantly, but it's writing new data. So it's not the original. Thus, they can't be sued for it.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing as a person saying, okay, this is a television show that I wrote and here's all the scripts of it, but it's like, it has all of the same pieces of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I wonder if it'll be the downfall of humanity as we know it.
I definitely think that capitalism cannot exist with AI. One of them's going to die.
Oh, you think it? Oh, that's an interesting take. They're at odds with each other.
They really are, because they take away the work. Essentially, what makes capitalism exist.
And that's the kind of wavy shit that I wasn't even sure I would expect. But yeah, we've reached maybe one of the longest episodes of Friendship Emulator ever. Almost an hour and a half. But
my apologies.
No, I'm actually apologizing. But it was fascinating talking to you. I hope that we get other topics going if we're able to do it in the future. We'll see if the next episode isn't Martin or whoever. We'll see. But yeah. Do you want to plug your any of your socials?
Follow me on Twitch. Bombshelboy with 1 L. Otherwise, just Bombshelboy.
Hell yeah. And
beatbox.
Yeah, follow on Twitch. There's a great selection of new and retro games on his channel. And yeah, a lot of music stuff too. A lot of sometimes you deal with modular synthesizers as well.
It's true. I do have a modular synth, just like right there.
Yeah, it's all understood. It's all paths we can walk down. But yeah, we've also got the Friendship Emulator Patreon. It's patreon.com/friendship emulator. And bonus episodes in the distant future, but also some comics that I've been making recently. So yeah, check out Bombs, check out Friendship Emu, and we're out for the next week. No promises. All times Pacific, not specific, as I say. Thanks again for being here, Bombs.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I think this is a good one. I'm excited. Thanks. Peace.
Later.